Hey everyone, this is Phil, and today we're going to be doing a different type of video. We're going to be comparing three cubes. Over here we have the YJ ChiLong, which is a new 3x3. This is the YJ SuLong, which is also a new 3x3, and this is the WeiLong. And this cube is very popular right now, especially with a lot of fast solvers becoming accustomed to this cube over the Dian Zanchi, so it's a very good cube. So most of the physical similarities will lie between the ChiLong and the SuLong. The Moyu is simply here to, I'm going to talk about some feel similarities and comparisons. So physically, the ChiLong and the SuLong are very similar. From the naked eye, I can't tell any difference between the center pieces, the center caps, the cores, and the corner pieces. In fact, yeah, I really think the corner pieces are the same. On the left, we have the ChiLong, but if you were to guess SuLong, I wouldn't fault you because they're pretty much the same. And on the right, of course, we have the ChiLong, and I'm very happy I stickered these with different stickers, otherwise I'd probably get the pieces mixed up. One thing you will not confuse, though, is the edge piece, because the edge piece has these indents. These are not tracks like in the Shangxiao Aurora. These are actually indents or grooves. So I'm just going to call them grooves because groove is a pretty cool word. Anyways, so these grooves are not present on the SuLong, which is just a flat surface like this. And there is another groove actually present over here. So you can see up close, there's a groove here, and on the SuLong, the groove is not there. So there are two sets of grooves. Of course, they appear on both sides. So there are 4 grooves per edge piece. Other minor differences, the SuLong is a 2-piece construction. If I can try to get this apart, I'll show you. So yes, this is a 2-piece construction. So it kind of forces you to incorporate the torpedo into the cube because the torpedo is actually attached to the other cap of the center. And the ChiLong has a 3-piece construction, so it's actually like this. So the torpedo you can remove, and the torpedo looks like that. I don't think this actually makes a big difference when you solve the cube, but the extra option of having the torpedo out is always worth something. Let's try to put it in. It's kind of difficult to put it in because it doesn't anchor very deep, and when the piece is lubed, it's kind of slidey and it slides everywhere, but let's try it now. Okay, the other difference is that the SuLong over here has these holes on the edge piece over here where my fingertip is here. It's actually a hole, and you can see you can access the inside of the cube, and you can actually, if you have like if you put it under the sink, you can fill it up with water. Whereas over here there are no holes in the ChiLong. This is a solid plastic. There is a crack, so you can probably fill it with water, but it would go in much slower. So that's another minor difference. I don't actually think it does very much. Yeah, not particularly. It gives a little bit of a surface for contact, but it's very minor. So it's very interesting to see how these grooves will interact with the rest of the cube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this piece in. This is the edge piece with the grooves, and I'm going to ask you to keep your eye out on this area over here. So this area will go into the cube like this. So this groove will be up against this flat surface of the centerpiece, and so it acts as I guess as an extra air pocket, and this groove over here will interact with the side of the corner piece, which is also flat, so it just creates extra air inside of the cube, I suppose, and this is what makes it more clacky than the SuLong, because the SuLong has, I suppose, more surface area to surface area contact, and there are missing pockets of contact on the ChiLong. So I'm going to put these cubes back together, and we're going to compare how the cubes feel. So I'm going to quickly wipe my hands in the lube. Okay, so we have the ChiLong on the left, and it's very loud and very clacky, and it's also very quick, and that's something that is very similar to the Moyu WeiLong, except the WeiLong has more surface area to surface area contact, and it's much smoother, and the sound is more uniform, and the layer slides much easier, whereas there's a lot of contact and it's very clacky. The SuLong is tighter and it has a crispier feel than the ChiLong, and so even though the cubes are very, very similar physically, with the exception of the edge piece, of course, the cubes have vastly different feels, and it's really interesting. I noted that the SuLong has some stability issues. Sometimes if you try to reverse cut too much, the pieces will jam up, and this one seems to also do that, but for the cuts that can go, it's very stable. It goes line to line this way and about half a piece the other way. Pretty much everything that you need. On the outside, the cubes are very similar. There are holes. You can see there are holes, but I don't think the naked eye can discern if they're different or not. They just, you know, the holes are just there. So all in all, this cube is it's most definitely different from the SuLong, which is nice. It wouldn't be fair or interesting if YJ just came out with another cube that's pretty much the same and just re-released it with a different name. So I'm very glad that it feels different. And I think these differences, whether they're good or not, will totally depend on your preferences. I think the ChiLong is a little more stable than the SuLong. It's also clacky and loud. It's not like that crispy feeling that you get in something like an A5. For those of you that are older in cubing or just happen to have a cube from 2009 or something. So yeah, definitely this more stable. And another thing to notice is that the M slices are heavy, and the M slices are also heavy on this cube. Not so much on the WeiLong. I think it's because there's so much contact in these cubes that when you rotate the M slice, it has to contact both sides, and that's what makes it heavy. So if I do something like an H-perm, which I can't even do properly on this cube because the M slice is very heavy. The outside has very low turning resistance, kind of like the WeiLong, but the inside, so the M slice, has more turning resistance because it has to rub against both of these sides that run parallel to the M slice. So that's something really interesting. Perhaps if you break it in more, the M slice will be easier. But for now, the M slice is what it is. I've done about 100 solves on this so far, and so yeah. This cube is supposed it's the same size as the SuLong. Let's check it out. It looks slightly larger, but it's not large enough to constitute a millimeter. So we all know that the SuLong is 56. This one, maybe 56 and a half. It could be that these stickers are thicker. Nope, the cube is actually bigger. So this is kind of interesting. It's between 56 and 57, and the WeiLong is noticeably bigger. So I think this is 57. And yeah, so the WeiLong, in terms of quietness and smoothness, the WeiLong is definitely the smoothest and the most stable and the most quiet. This one is the least smooth, and it's very loud and very clacky. And the outer layers turn very, very quickly like the WeiLong. So it's actually, maybe it's fair to say it's a WeiLong with extra clack. And the SuLong is the heavy and slower cube. And it's got a lot of surface area to surface area contact in the middle because all the pieces are just flat surfaces without the air pockets. So this pretty much concludes the comparison of these three cubes. They're all very interesting 3x3s. Personally, I like the SuLong the best, just because it's smaller, and I like the heaviness of the cube. just feels safe to me, and this cube is a little too clacky for my personal taste, and the WeiLong I feel is uncontrollable, but again, that's not stopping everyone else from using it. A lot of people faster than me use the WeiLong, so you know, it's not fair to say this cube overturns for everyone, just for me. So this pretty much concludes the cube comparison. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and we'll talk about it. Thank you guys very much for watching, and see you in the next video.